This year, the Cooperative Bank is making youth empowerment a priority. We are here to help Kenyan youth, whether in college, employment, business, or agriculture, realize your dreams by providing the tools and knowledge you need to grow your incomes. This will be done through youth forums, a series of free weekly online webinars on Zoom and other social media platforms. Some exciting topics to be covered will include financial planning, budgeting, investing, taxation, capital markets, and much more. This week, we are pleased to have Samuel Ngigi, Head of Business Development, COP Trust Investments, to talk about planning for the future and wealth creation. Welcome.
Thank you, Sandra, for that introduction. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are well. I'm happy today to join you to talk with you today about planning for the future. For those who are joining us again, karibu sana. Thank you. Welcome to the second session. For those of us joining for the first time, we hope we'll be seeing you much more oftenly. These sessions run every week on Friday at 11 a.m. and we'll tackle different topics designed to assist us grow, both financially and on other areas. Thank you. So today, I want us to begin by reflecting on some few things. And as we look at these things, I would encourage you all just give a comment, shout out to where you're watching from. Let us know that you're there. Interact with us. Give us comments, ask questions so that we can be able to clarify as we go, and we can help each other. So I just want to start with a very quick analogy. Now, hii analogy, it's an analogy of life. Basically, ungeweza kajiangalia. Na the thing is, hakuna mtu yuchagua kwenye ametoka ama kwenye amezaliwa. That is a given fact in life. You found yourself there. So it's like a game of cards. It's something that you are given to. However, kuna ile time unacheza, we call the system. Now, the system, you get to choose how you interact with the system. You play your cards right. So sometimes you can be able to take charge, sometimes not. But there's one thing that you can take charge of, and that is where you're headed, and that is why you're here. Can we be able to take charge of where we are headed? And it begins with planning. Where we are headed just doesn't require finance. It requires planning on all aspects of life. And hence, that's why we are having this forum. So I want you today, from wherever you are watching from whichever platform you're interacting with us, that could be YouTube, Zoom, Facebook, or X, just drop a very small comment. I want you to think of yourself in 10 years. If you could write yourself a very small note, what would the you in the future, the you 10 years from now, angekuwa nataka nini? Unaweza andika hapo kwa comment useme nataka kukua na band yangu and I want to be the lead guitarist. Hiyo ni dream uko nayo. Mwingine hata andika nataka nimalize PhD. Very good point. So nataka uandike hiyo alafu tutaangalia baadaye to evaluate na niaje tunaweza achieve. Kama umeachieve, please tuambie kwa comments venye uliachieve. We always welcome the knowledge. Remember, finance is very personal. Na kitu personal, saa zingine tunaisafeguardingi sana. Lakini, gumzo usipoisikia, probably kuachieve itakuwa noma. Now, in 10 years, kuna wengine wetu wanataka kukua, wameandikwa job. Job inalipa fiti, they are executives. Some of us want to be the best actor. Unako starring pale na Lupita Nyong'o. Na kuna mwingine anataka kukua artist. You know? There's one thing I usually reflect na nataka kusema. When it comes to planning, all three of them need to plan. Na kitu ile muhimu sana, tukikam kufanya hiyo planning, ni ati lazima uangalie hiyo jani ya kuplan. Let me look at an analogy. You know, when you're planning, we need to think of it as something in motion. So kuna mtu maybe ako na kale ka baiskeli ka mguu moja. The stability yako ka baiskeli haikuangi ile fiti sana, you know, anything kitu kidogo tu hivi akisimama tu kuanguka, adistractiwe kidogo tu, concentration iende ingine, anaanguka. But hauwezi compare huyo mtu na msee mwenye anaendesha baiskeli. You know, a bicycle is a bit stable, but it needs to be moving for it to acquire stability. But again, if you stop and bado uko juu ya baiskeli, unaanguka. So, it needs momentum. Now, if you are to compare it with a tuk-tuk is very, very stable. But there are certain events that may make it become a bit unstable and compare it with a car. Now, why am I saying this? Now, saa zingine ikikuja planning. Kuna yule msee anasemanga niko na plan na iko kwa akili. You know, hiyo plan kwa akili inafikirianga vitu mingi sana. Asubuhi inaweza kuwa inafikiria chai, saa 4 mandazi, na lunch hour maybe kakibandaski. So, I usually urge, and we usually sit down na tunasema, lazima uandike kitu. You know, write it down. When you write it down, kuna kitu umeground, you have painted a portrait. You know, even when the musician is singing, the lyrics, alikuwa ameziandika pahali chini, ndio akakuja kuweka mistari. You know, you have that stability. Now, come to think of it this way. Utajipanga aje? Maybe uko na kakiru, maybe hauna kakitu. Inakuwa ni kama analogy ya mkate. How do you plan yourself? How do you divide the pie in life? Or how do you divide the bread in life? Okay? So, it comes down to how you will be able, number one, to articulate your goal. Articulate goal, basically ni kusema, mimi nataka nifike place fulani at some point in life. You know? Hiyo ndio goal yangu, nataka in the next 10 years, ninaweza kuwa ati mimi ni mdosi job. So lazima ni get paper nifanye hivi. So umearticulate, nimeenda pahali nikaiandika. Number 2 ni how can I keep track of this goal that I have? Okay? How do you keep track? Unakaanga ukiangalia, ni kama ni kitu ka wealth, unaandikanga, unasema nimeanza mwaka, I have this much. Maybe niko na 200,000 kwa sako, mwaka ikiisha nataka nikuwe na 300,000. So you have track it. You are tracking because you are tracking the net worth. Haya. Ile kitu ngumu sana sasa naanzanga wapi? Number 1, ulianzia, ukaandika goals. Number 2, ni kama unataka kubuild wealth, unaanzianga pahali fulani. And it's usually mentioned, anzia na emergency fund. Kwa sababu ukiweka emergency fund, kuna zile tu event twenye tunaweza kutoa alignment. Number 2, kuna kitu ingine tutadiscuss hapo mbele. Juu ukianzia hiyo emergency fund, ina creatingi habit fiti. Number 3, lazima ukae ukiangalia, how well can I achieve hii goal? Hii goal yangu yenye nimeweka hapa. Unacheki hata ukisema unaweka emergency fund, kuna vile unaiachieve, unasema nitaforgo kitu moja hii mwezi, nianzishe hiyo. Lazima ni increase ka side hustle, nianzishe hiyo. Now, you also, as you're doing it, you need also to protect what you're growing. And one of the fastest and easiest ways you will ever grow wealth is staying healthy. Because when you're healthy, you will be able to do anything you want. And remember, health is wealth. Good. Sasa goals zinaangaliangwa in different types. Ukienda pale hivyo kuenumerate goals zako, ukienda kuandika, kuna zile goals za saa hii, kitu unataka kufanya saa hii. And by the way, continue, let us know pale unaochia from, invite your friends, click like, comment, at least tujue tu mko hapo, tukiendelea na gumzo. Sasa, where do you start? You always start with an immediate action. Last week, for those of us who watch your episodes, tulisema kuhusu budgeting. So, first of all, kuwa na list ya goals, create budget. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Unajua, unafungua ka savings account. Hiyo yenye umekuwa ukiprocrastinate. Unaona? Una identify kale ka habit unataka kuchange ndio uone kama uta increase kenye una save. That's an immediate goal. Alafu nataka kwa comment section probably hapo hivyo mniambie kwa nini. Hebu tell me why tunaogopanga kuangalia account sana. Unaona? Kama Januari unakaa hivi hutaki kuona hata app ya pale ama hiyo app ya COP. Na mbona hiyo inakuwa story? Hebu tu comment hapo ndio tu interact. Tukienda kwa Q&A tuendelee kuinteract. From there you go to the second step of goals. Tunaitanga short term. So ya kwanza ilikuwa immediate. Ya kwanza inasaidianga. It helps us go to the second type of goals. Yenye tunasema ni ya 1 year. Ati within the next 1 year nataka maybe emergency fund yangu ifike ya mwezi moja. Juu hatuwezi sema tuta save 6 months within 1 day. No. Ni kitu tuna build. Na tukisema nita achieve 1 month, do you know what happens? When you open that money market account, the moment you put the first, even say 100 bob, it goes a very long way. It starts creating a habit. And when you start saving, it's a very wonderful feeling, because when you start saving and you are consistent, you will always feel the need to do it, and it fulfills you. Number 2, unaanza kufree more money towards creating your wealth. Okay? Unajipata hapa hivi kidogo unasema nitakuwa napika jioni na beba badala ya kwenda pale kibandaski. Unaona? So una save kama 100 per day. Good. Within this period tuna create tracker. Julianza ku budget. Kila mwezi unaweka kenye umebudget, kenye umepata na kenye umespend. Remember, saa zenye umeangalia kenye ulibudget vis-a-vis kenye umespend, inawezanga you are able to see where you are bleeding money. Ni wapi utaenda kuweka hiyo kiraka kidogo. Unajua? Thank you. Haya. Tuangalie sasa kitu tunaitanga medium term, ama zile goals una achieve between now na miaka 5. Hizi ni goals zenye zinakusaidianga kuimprove. Already ushaona umeachieve 1 month. Kama umeachieve 1 month, you can achieve 6. Kama umefungua money market, unaweza fungua unit trust ingine. Unaona? Kama unaona umeweka ka savings, unaweza nunua shamba. You can do it. So inakusaidianga sana, kwa sababu the first 1 year inakusukuma sasa hizi goals zako za medium term zinakufikia. Unaanza kujijenga vizuri. Alafu sasa tunaenda ile saa long term. Na unakumbuka sasa zenye tuliandika pale hivyo 10 year goals. Sasa ndizo hizi hapa. Long term ni kitu 10 years. If you are 20, long term yako tukisema 10 ni 30. Unataka kuachieve nini ukiwa 30? Na by the way 30 inafikanga haraka sana. Ukiuliza watu, muulize mzae hapo atakwambia, 1 minute nilikuwa na hapa, second minute nilikuwa kupeleka shule. Unacheka tu, unaona mimi bado sitafika. Uzuri ni Januari inakuanga na mimi nyingi sana za saa hii ni 1996. Wanakimbizana na kale ka age. So on future planning kuna hiyo umeweka pesa, maybe ulikuwa unataka kununua shamba. Buying land at 30, so that you can start building your home. It's not a far-fetched dream. It's not a far-fetched plan. But that has to begin from here. Because if you don't create that discipline of saving, you won't create it in the future. If you don't start planning now, it's never too early to start planning. The best time was yesterday. The next best time is today. So kila kitu ukiangalia hivyo ni ka step. Lazima tuanzie pale, na shida inakuwa kuanzia, na ukianzia utajipata unaenda. Haya, saa zenye tulisema tuandike goals zetu. Ni wangapi wetu tumeandika hizo goals? Unacheki? So there are three, you can look at it in three ways. Kuna ile achievement unataka kufanya, kuna ile dream unataka kurealize, and this where you want to be in wealth. And mind you, saa zenye tunasema wealth, hatusemi do peke yake. Wealth ni mingi, wealth ni familia, wealth ni, it can be your health, it can be your skills, it could even be your connections. I'm sure tunajua yule mse anajua na wase, kuna tunaitanga plug. Hao ndio wanakuwa goat. Yule mtu ukimwambia ni aje nataka kitu fulani, anakuambia hiyo najua mtu atakuletea. Or that person will always have an answer for something. So pale kwa achievement, so kuna mtu pale hivyo ameenda akaandika nataka in the short term ni create ka habit ka kusave. Unaona? Medium term ni achieve, nipatiwe ka promotion job, at least ni toke kuan tuseme ka 30 kafike. So unaona, lazima I put in the elbow grease. Nataka maybe kama ilikuwa story ya biashara, aseme nataka leo nitoe tu hapa hivi hii kibanda ya kwanza nijenge zingine 3, na utaachieve. Na long term nataka kukua mentor. I want to be sitting in a forum like this one so that I can share my knowledge, because even sharing a journey with someone is something which is great. It inspires people to just see that kuna mtu aliwalk hiyo journey na alimake. That you can inspire somebody to do that. Kuna mwingine ameandika my dreams. What are the dreams I aspire? Unajua, milestones. So nataka ku own my home in like an year. I want to own my home in 10 years. Again, kila mtu life inakuhandia kadi different. So usibabaike. Hii story ya kuplani inakupatanga si kila mtu wako the same. So kuna mwenye ataweza kujenga in 5, kuna mwenye ataweza kujenga in 10. At that point nyi wote mtakuwa na nyumba. Haitakuwa ati mimi nimekuwa nikiishi. Nyi wote mtakuwa na nyumba, and that is the goal. Okay? Wealth, unaanzia na emergency fund. You get your first plan. The next one, nataka nitoke emergency, sasa nianze kukua na investment. Nataka kukua na hizo zinaitangwa government bonds. Nataka kukua na special fund. In 10 years nataka ati hiyo do napata pale inaweza nilipia tokens, ama inaweza nilipia rent. Or there is an aspect of my life naweza tegemea that income. Thank you. Na tunaachieve hizi vitu aje? Number 1, kitu ka emergency fund, ukifungua unit trust, money market, inakusaidia sana. So unit trust is collective funds. Hizi ni funds zinakuanga, tunakuja pamoja, tuna collaborate. Investors come and pull their money, you put it is invested, and they give you a return. So they simplify investments for you. So you don't have to keep, let's say, walking into a bank to take that fixed deposit. You don't have to go buy the bond. You just have to deposit the money, and that investment is done. Na ziko aina nyingi. Zile most famous nine. Kuna hii inaitangwa money market, fixed income, kuna equity fund na balance. Lakini leo juu ya time nataka tu tuongelee money market. Remember, hii ni episode 2, tuna lay foundation. We will be back with more. We'll be discussing this. So money market fund tumezisikia. Money market funds are the entry level investment. Hizi ni zile investment inakusaidia kujenga hiyo kitu accumulate hiyo wealth ndio uweze kukua investor. So what does it do? When you put in your money, unaweza access. So number 1, ulieka so, utatoa so. Zina ensure that pahali zina invest, pesa hazitapotea. Unaona? Kama waki invest kwa government. And then zinakupatia interest. So ina compute interest, alafu ina compound daily. Alafu entry level zinakuwa chini. An example is money market fund ya Co-op. The money market fund for Co-op, which you can access through your Air app ama the Co-op Bank app, joining is just a 3-second journey and I invest. Ukiingia tu pale, minimum investment 100. Okay? And you start saving. If it is an immediate goal, ni kitu hata unaweza fanya before tumalize presentation. And I invite you to actually go, try it out, give us a comment. Pale kwa comment section tuambie, na nimeweza. Hiyo mia umeweka ni yako, haipotei. Na utaendelea kuongea. Ndio ukiset goals, unajua already, nisha sort money market. Already you have ticked one of those boxes. Now, kuna analogy ingine. Kuna kitu tunaitanga wealth and growth. Na kila kitu yuanzia pahali. So nitatumia example mbili. Nataka ufikirie, si wote tunakulanga tu matunda. Nataka ufikirie ile matunda yenye unapenda sana. For me, I love mangoes and bananas. But I prefer mango first. I think nilikula too much bananas growing up. And siku moja nilikuwa nimekaa chini ya mti pale hivyo mshahada pale kwa guka yangu nimekaa. Nikagongwa na kimaembe kwa kichwa. Nikaanza kucomplainia maembe inanigonga na badala ya kuona inanipatia matunda. Then something hit me. Na hii kuanga kama ile ya Isaac Newton ya gravity. I asked myself, I'm enjoying this fruit, but for me to enjoy this fruit, how long did it take for this fruit to be? So nikaanza kuulizia maswali, nikaenda nikauliza guka yangu, hii mti ni ya lini? And surprisingly, that tree was planted somewhere in 1975. So 1975, nimekula hiyo matunda saa hii. On average, a mango will take like 6 months to a year ndio ikue kubwa iripen. But hiyo mti ndio ifike hapo. It took time. Na hivyo ndi venye nataka tuangalie investment. Hii step ya kwanza utamake. Ama ile step ulimake ya kusave. Inaendanga ikigrow. That is why we call it growing. Now, nataka kutumia hiyo analogy kwa mkulima. So there is a farmer. You know, farmers, they farm. Wanapandanga mimea, wanauza. So there is one who we call a profitable farmer and a wealthy farmer. So a profitable farmer, ataenda apande, achukue kidogo akule, auze hiyo ingine, pia hiyo pesa akule, abaki bila kitu. So at the end of the year, ukienda kwa huyo farmer umuulize, ni aje, net worth yako ni gani? Unapata, atakwambia hana, juu aliuza kila kitu na alikula kila kitu. But, kuna yule mwenye tunaitanga wealthy farmer. So the wealthy farmer ni mwenye amejipanga. So yeye alipanda mahindi, akavuna, akaeka ingine kwa store. Next year, akaenda, akaongezea. So yeye anaenda akiongezea mahindi kwa store. So he's growing his wealth. And that is what I want us to think of ourselves. Right now, saa zenye tunaanzia Januari, ujiandikie kanote. Ukijiandikie kanote ka December, jiandikie note ya 5 years from now. Ile hiyo time birthday yako ikifika ufungue na hiyo 10 year. Ujiambie, nataka nijiangalie wealth yenye nimegrow. Tulisema wealth, saa zingine si pesa peke yake. So unaweza zi-split, useme, in December, how is my health? Have I improved? Have I gotten worse? In December, ningeweza calculate net worth yangu ya pesa. Nitakuwa nini? So kuna mwenye amefungua money market already ameweka, so huyo already ako 100 points up. Kuna mwingine ataandika pale chini, nataka by December nikuwe na connections. Unajua? Inaweza kuwa ya biz, inaweza kuwa ya kupata job. Ni goal. Jipatie hiyo goal. Haya. Kutakuwa na tips kidogo huku hivi nje tukiendelea na maisha. Na ile tip nataka kuongelea kuhusu ni kitu inaitangwa emergency fund. Nataka ukiweka emergency fund, think of it this way. So This is money that can either, number one, supposed to kick in what we call an emergency. What is an emergency? An emergency could be something like kuadmitiwa hospitali. Okay? What could it be? Maybe job imeisha. Job imeisha, hawezi lipa rent. So hiyo unasema nataka 6 months. Emergency inaweza kuwa nini? Maybe kazi yako ni kufanya delivery. Unaona? Alafu kama ni pikipiki imepata accident. Sasa you don't have a means of income, so you can rely on it. So hiyo pesa unaweka hapo kando ya emergency. Haifai kuchanganyika na pesa kama ya biashara ama pesa ya leisure. Alafu ukumbuke emergency don't remain constant. 10 years from now, ile pesa mahitaji yako utakuwa sahi. Sio mahitaji yenye itakuwa uko mbele. Na if I can use a real example, na sijui kama hii ni gumzo yenye, najua gumzo zitakuwa mingi. They normally say the moment you as a person, let's say, gets a child, ama unabarikiwa, your expenditure goes up by 40%. So you're planning for 10 years. There are some of us wenye tutaplan kukuwa na familia. So remember, somewhere in your planning, familia ita add 10% expense, 40% expense actually. So lazima hiyo emergency fund yako iendelee kuwa an interest. Ndio at least kama emergency fund yako ulikuwa umeplangia ya 100,000. In 10 years, kama hujaiguza, itakuwa imedouble. If you invest it at 10%, in 10 years, it will have doubled. Or actually grown even more. So we'll do the computation. So it has grown to also reflect that there is growth in your life. So I want to probably end my presentation ama gumzo langu so that we can now do the interactions. I get to answer your questions and also clarify on some few things raised. There is a very famous Sir called Sir John Templeton and said, we become increasingly humble about how little we know and we become more eager to search. And nataka hii ikusaidia kimaisha how. Number 1, always be ready to learn. Number 2, tunasemanga saa zingine experience is the best teacher. Lakini kusikiza gumzo na kulearn from experiences za mtu mwingine, usually I find it to be one of the best because you might never experience what that person experienced, or you may avoid experiencing any adversities that may happen. But be curious. Thank you. Sasa wacha tuangalie pale comment section. Let's see what the discussions, the questions which are coming in. I hope you will continue interacting with us. Remember, we will take all your questions, even if not during this session. We will be getting back to you on the comment section. Continue to interact with us. Please share the link to this video with your friends. They can, if they are not able to join now, they can be able to watch it later on YouTube. Continue to comment. We welcome you to visit our offices. Personally, my office is in Cop House, floor number 5. That is the Cop House building in Haile Selassie. Karibuni sana. We usually are happy to host you for a cup of coffee, have a discussion. Finance is very personal, and we are ready and we will be available to pick that discussion on a personal basis. Also, if you're able to visit our branches, you are very welcome to pop in our social media. So I can see a question from Zoom, from Winson. And Winson says, I want to be part of the team that empowered me to empower others. Wow. Thank you for that comment, Winson. We shall be reaching out to you, or the team will reach out to you. We have Bruce. So what are the margins? Is it gross or net of tax for money market? So Bruce, just to get back to you, the return normally or mostly is net of the expenses. However, you have to inquire. So for COP, what we usually publish in the daily papers is usually net of management expenses, but gross of withholding tax. So it's always good to find out from each provider, for a provider, if you approach a provider, if the return is gross or net. But normally will be gross of withholding, normally will be net of expenses, but always ask. We have another question from Catherine Wawero. How do I apply for the money market fund? Well, Catherine, it's very easy. You can download the AYA app. You can be able to register if you don't already have a core bank account. If you do have a core bank account, you can update your the mobile application. On the bottom right hand side, pale chini, there is a new tab called investment. If you click on investment and then you choose the money market fund, it will only take you less than 10 seconds for you to open a money market account. Okay, let's see another question. We have a question from Sam on Facebook. Thank you very much, Sam, for interacting with us on Facebook. Says anataka account yenye akieka pesa ndani haiwezi toka until ile period nitaandika mkuu iwe na interest fiti. Sam, hiyo tuko nayo. Tuko na savings na pia ukitaka tukulokia account yako ya money market, tutafanya hivyo. We oblige. So Sam, karibu sana. We will be interacting with you. Our team will reach out to you and we'll be able to sort you out on that. Again, we have another comment from Zoom. This is anonymous. Do you offer money market in dollars, pound, etc.? And as Kenyans, can we invest in foreign currency? So currently that product will be available from April of this year. So you can be able to invest in dollar money market within the COP, within COP. So hata hiyo process itakuwa simple, utakuwa tu unaingia pale kwa app, unafungua hiyo account na tunaendelea na biashara. Is it better to choose safety or growth when investing? Hiyo ni swali muhimu sana. So you have to consider both. Why? Kwa sababu lazima utake risk kidogo ndio uweze kuendelea. But then again, we need the assets to be safe. Why am I saying both? Kuna hii analogy ya mchua tumesikia mara mingi sana. Inaitangwa, don't put your eggs in one basket. So if you put everything in the safety basket, then the chances of growing might be very low or might not be commensurate with how or might not keep up with inflation. So sometimes you have to do diversification. Iyo yenye unaendanga where we want growth. An example would be for somebody mwenye alinunua share ya COP 2 years ago. The return they have made is tremendous because it moved from as much as 12 shillings to above 20. And you see the valuation of the price is an income. Lakini mtu mwenye anaogopa anasema na inaweza shuka kidogo, they might not have that growth in wealth. So have your safety assets, they are called your backup plan or your safety net, but also diversify so that you can have growth. Okay, that was from Twitter. Thank you very much for interacting with us there. Facebook, Mary, how long does it take to withdraw from money market? Currently, we are doing it within 24 working hours. So ukitutumia asubuhi, normally by end of day utakuwa umepata pesa, or latest tomorrow morning. And we are improving to make that instantaneous. Thank you, Mary. Please send a link to your friends on Facebook. They can access the video on YouTube. On Zoom, we have Jacinta Maina. Welcome very much, Jacinta. Thank you for interacting with us. Unauliza, unafungua hiyo MMF na COP app aje? So, Jacinta pale kwa app, pale chini on the right, there is a new tab called invest. So ukifinya hako katab katakuletea option ya kufungua money market account. Na kama haiko, please unaweza update the application and you will be able to access this feature, Mary. You will be able to access the feature. Thank you. So we have another comment from X, from Tala. Thank you very much, Tala, for joining us and interacting with us. Is it better to choose safety or growth? Again, I said a little bit of both, but begin with safety. Create the safety net and then move. Go to where you can now create wealth. So always first create the safety net, then we move to the wealth part. On Zoom, we have Angela. Angela, thank you for joining us. Between those types of unit trust, which you have mentioned, which one has more interest? It's a very good and interesting question. So Angela, the return on each is measured differently because tunaangalianga kenye tunaitanga risk na volatility. So a good example would be in the last 1 year, money market did very, very well. That is the 2025 because the interest rates were a bit high. Currently, fixed income are doing much better than the money market because interest rates are a bit much high for the medium term and long term. Shares, equities have done very well. So pia hiyo ime outperform money market na fixed income. So sometimes it's market timing and having the knowledge, and hence why we have these sessions. So you have to constantly keep looking at the performance. So you gauge. So you find that currently the equity funds are doing much better, followed by the fixed income or bond funds. Angela from Zoom says, what is the difference between saving and investing in money market? So savings generally is putting aside money. And I will answer this question comparing probably a savings account from a money market account. So a savings account will be where you put money. It's an actual bank account you can transact with. So you save your money, you accumulate your money, and probably now you can send it to a money market. Now a money market account is not a transactional account. Hawezi tuma do, hakunanga ATM ya money market account ati utalipa. And both are very important, okay? Because savings will give you that discipline. Utaweza kuweka na kutransact nayo. Ukiweka pesa ifike kiwango fulani unaweza ituma money market. Remember, savings you can access it immediately. So tuseme saa hii unataka hiyo pesa within the next 10 minutes. You can withdraw money from savings. So on money market, it can take a bit of some time, up to 24 hours for you to get the funds. I hope I've answered your question, Angela, and thank you very much for joining us. We do have another question from Evans. Thank you, Evans. So Evans have asked, where are the dividends on shares paid? In your CDS account or in your personal bank account? So Evans, we have episode 3 next week that will cover actually mainly shares. And one of the key areas that we'll highlight is where the money is paid. But normally, when dividends are paid, they are paid to your bank account. Okay? So if you have opened a CDS account with our subsidiary Kingdom Securities, you will be receiving those funds in your bank account. And thank you, viewers. Please join us next week. I'm sure it will be very insightful when we look at capital markets and equities, that is, the Nairobi Stock Exchange. Tracy Okello, thank you for joining us. When someone sets up an MMF, what amount like 1,000, like an MMF at what amount like 1,000, it earns interest to a certain amount. If I want to withdraw both the interest and money I started with, can it be done? I don't understand how they work. Tracy, thank you, very good question. And yes, for the COP MMF, you can withdraw all the funds and be left with zero. Remember, these are your funds. So MMF does not limit you in terms of the money you put in and what you remove. Remember, this is an account which is enabled for you to be able to save. So you can accumulate, ukiweka 1,000 tupate imepata tuseme 100 shillings in interest, you can withdraw the 1,100 shillings. But you will be able to see it grow. Remember, you will be able to see the interest as it grows. You will be able to track it, and at that moment you want to access it, you will be able to see it, Tracy. Thank you for that question. We have another comment from Edwin. Edwin says, I think the KPC IPO has been overvalued. Now I'm conflicted between buying the price at IPO or wait until March when stock starts trading on NSE. What do you think? So, Edwin, you are talking like an investor, because there is the consideration of IPO and going to the market. So normally there is a lot of research that goes towards even answering that question. Just trying to see the moment it goes to market, whether we'll have more demand or less demand. Some of the factors that may hinder this would be how much the subscriptions were. So it might be a bit hard for me to be able to answer this question, but you can always reach out to us, and we'll be reaching out to you through our social media. Try and look at the several factors that may guide your decision towards whether you are going to IPO or whether you are going to the secondary market. And if you can be able to visit our offices, that would even be swell. Thank you. We have another comment from Liz. Liz says, what are the various emergency fund accounts? Does it earn interest? So, Madam Nyawera, emergency account exists for your main reason that you are saving for an emergency. Let me give an example. You can have an emergency account for house expenses or livelihood expenses, and a separate emergency account for your medical expenses. Mainly just to separate and be accountable for yourself. Now, does it earn an interest? Yes. If you have opened an emergency account in money market, it will be able to give you an interest. So currently, it would be able to give you around 7.9% in per annum in interest. So yes, you can have the emergency fund getting some interest. Another comment from Kip Keu. I don't have savings, but I would like to get a loan and start a small business. Kindly help. Thank you very much. Always the first step, download the app. If you have it, you already have an account with us. If you do, we are able to look at your situation. We'll be reaching out to you, or our team will reach out to you, or you can even visit a branch if there is any branch near you, and then they can discuss and let you know what is required for you to be able to get the business and start growing. Yeah? Get the business, start getting some funds, continue saving or start saving. We will be there to be able to work with you. Thank you from Benjamin. Benjamin has another question. Will the interest gained in MMF beat inflation? So thank you, Benjamin. So currently, if you look at where we are, yes, the return on MMF is above the inflation rate and has been, mainly because MMF reflects or mirrors the short-term rates. They will tend to outdo or outperform inflation for most of the periods of time. So it's only when there is a hike in inflation, probably they will take around a month or two to match it or beat the performance. But yes, MMF are able to beat inflation. Thank you. So Benjamin, also, will you have another session on investing in stocks? Yes. So next week, Friday, same time, same place at 11, we will be able to discuss this topic about investing in stocks. Jerry from YouTube, thank you very much for joining us on that platform. Like, share, subscribe. Please send to your friends to watch this video later. Are all places to invest money market the same in terms of interest? Jerry, probably not. We normally do publish on the dailies the rate for money market funds across the market. So you can be able to get the rate for the previous day in the national dailies. So they are not normally the same, mainly because of the investment approach and where somebody has invested. It's always good as an investor to do your due diligence, get to know who is investing the funds, where they are investing the funds, so that you can be able to be well informed when you're making that decision to join a money market fund. So thank you. I think we'll take a few more. We can take a few more questions, and the session will end. So from YouTube, Mr. Waweru, is it possible kufungua account ya COP through app? Yes, very, very much. It's actually just a few minutes, less than 10 steps. You can go to the App Store or the Google Play Store. You can download the Yeah app or the COP Bank app, and you will be able to open a COP Bank account. And the moment you are able to open a COP Bank account, you are open to a whole universe of products that you can be able to access, including opening a money market fund account. Thank you very much, Wawero, for joining us. We look forward to having you in the future for all the sessions. Zoom, unknown, how can my cooperative bank as a bank help me grow in my investment portfolio? Per se, I visit a branch in need of advice. How can you advise, mentor me, educate me, like you can assist me to grow, not as a bank, but as a financial consultant? So as our client, our doors are open. We will be able to sit down with you. We have a professional team that advises people. They will take you through the various aspects when it comes to investment. We understand the need. It is a journey. We just don't want to walk with you for a day. We want to walk with you for a lifetime. So karibu sana. You can visit, if you have the ability, please visit me on Cooperative House, floor number 5, and I will be able to sit down with you and we can figure this thing out. Thank you very much. Just a few more comments. Martin Morethi, I would like to know about bonds, bills in the context of investment. So Mr. Martin will have another session that we will dive down into the investments so that we can be able to explain and distinguish what a bond is and what a T-bill is. So for now, we'll get back to you on social media just to try and explain. You can leave us or you can send us an email. We will get back to you, we'll give you a call, and we'll respond with some material just trying to explain, but we'll have a different session for handling that topic. We have Owen. I love that COP Bank is providing financial literacy to the next gen. Thank you very much. We are very much honored. Nobody does that nowadays. Kudos. Thank you for, we appreciate that feedback. Now, my question, does COP Bank plan on issuing crypto services like Bitcoin, ETF to its customers? And what can you advise me on having crypto as a long-term financial freedom path and hedge against inflation? Wow. And that's a very good question. On the plans for the group to do crypto, probably it's not a short-term goal. But we are looking into bringing on board diversified investment, including special funds, which invest in things like ETFs. On investing in crypto, normally this requires a more one-on-one basis advice because of the nature of investment. Remember, we have different categorization ya investment. Ukinunua shamba tunaitanga property investment. Ukieka money market tunaitanga fixed income. And in most of these traditional asset classes, ama kenye tunasema una invest nayo, kuna ile kitu yenye inai backup. So an example would be, if you have a title deed, you are backed up by a plot of land somewhere or a huge chunk of land somewhere. Ukiwa na deposit kwa bank, ni kuna pesa iliekwa pahali. It is actually recognized. So it's very unique when we talk about crypto kwa sababu saa zingine unajua crypto haina any asset backing it up. So at any one moment, volatility inaweza ingia, there are market situations which might make it unfavorable. Like what we call pump and dump schemes. So this is where they will pump up the price, then somebody will dump it. So the market just collapses. So such conversation, we like to have them one-on-one. Again, we'll be reaching out to social media. If you can visit us, that would even be more fantastic. We have Solomon in Zoom. Thank you, Solomon, for joining us today. If I withdraw my savings in my MMF account and left with interest, can my interest earn interest? Yes, Solomon. So the moment we allocate interest on a monthly basis, we don't see it as interest, we see it as capital. So anything you begin with is capital, and interest earns interest. For us, the interest for the previous month become capital, and we stop calling it interest because it's already earned. Thank you. I think we are just getting to the tail end. Thank you very much for joining us, keeping us here. At least we are also getting feedback on what we need to tackle. In the comment section, just tell us what you want to hear, tell us what you want to learn, tell us, give us feedback if we should even do this more oftenly. Thank you. Is it possible to have multiple MMF under the same name? Cecilia, yes. You are not limited to the number of accounts in money market you can have. An example would be you can have one money market fund for school fees. You can have a separate money market account for holidays. So you have a savings where you want to achieve a target for you to go to holiday. So if you don't achieve the target, then you have to wait for it to get there. And it gives you also a bit of accountability. Sometimes I like it for people who create the budget and the plans. The visualization of having that account is usually very important. And it's actually a very good thing. Cecilia, thank you for asking that question. We go to Zoom. Liz Nyawera, thank you, Liz. Share a little on children's accounts. So I'm thinking this is the Jambo Junior accounts. So Jambo Junior accounts are predominantly set up by the guardian or the parent to be able to achieve the saving goals for the kid. We want to encourage and have a savings culture from when we are young. If you teach your kid to start saving that 5 shillings instead of going to buy that small sweet, tell them, if you get 20 shillings, save the 10 shillings, go and enjoy the other 10. By the time they get to their early youth, the saving culture will be a part of them. And that is what we try to encourage. So it's an account which is predominantly for the young savers, people under 18 to be able to save. You can do so in money market, where you can open an account where your saving is predominantly for the child. So we have another question as we wind up. So Mercy from Zoom has asked, are ETFs better than stocks and mutual funds for a beginner? So Mercy, to answer your question, ETFs, what we call exchange traded funds, they are different asset. It's a different asset as compared to a stock and it's different investment compared to a mutual fund, because the mutual fund represents all the unit trust. It represents the money market fund, it will represent the equity fund, plus remember the mutual fund might be investing in ETFs and stocks. So now, if you want to dissect and break it down, you can probably first list what we call the risk. So risk is what is the upside or the downside, okay? How much do I need to get in? What is the longevity? And what am I targeting? So for example, for a beginner, it might be a beginner you want to begin by having the emergency fund. So probably you don't want to have that money in stocks for an emergency fund, but you might already have the emergency funds and you want to begin creating wealth. In that case, I would say start with stocks. Then after you do the stocks, then you can understand, you can go to ETFs, because ETFs are classified as alternative investments. So allow me to stop from there. It has been wonderful. It has been great. I look forward to seeing you another time, having to interact with you again. We will be having this session. Episode 3 will be next week on Friday, same time. Please join us. We'll be able to share more with you. This forum will continue interacting with us even after the presentation on YouTube. Please continue interacting with us. We'll be able to respond back to you on our social media platforms. Thank you and have a wonderful and blessed weekend. Asante.
Thank you for joining us on this week's webinar. You can't afford to miss next week's session on the exciting topic of investments and understanding capital markets. Join the conversation and send us an email at webinar@cobank.co.ke and we'll give you the plug. Remember, by sending us your email, you consent to